you are going to Kuwait, or you're already living in Kuwait and you are in need of a Kuwaiti SIM card. Well, in this video I will tell you everything you need to know about buying a SIM card in Kuwait, such as operators, SIM card prices, which SIM card is the best, and internet packages. Just everything you need to know. Are you ready? Well, I am. Let's just get started, shall we? Hi! It's Ooredoo for Phone Tourists, where we talk about everything related to traveling with your phone, such as buying a SIM card in Kuwait. If videos like this sound interesting to you, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you watched my how to buy a SIM card in Kuwait video, which was an introduction to the telecom situation in Kuwait, then this is a follow-up where we go a little bit more, well, not a little bit more, we will go much more in depth about the situation here in Kuwait. This video will be packed with information, so let's just get started with number one, is the operators here in Kuwait. In Kuwait, we have three operators, which are Zain, Ooredoo and STC. So those are your three operators. But how much do SIM cards cost? Well, I will tell you. You can get a Kuwaiti SIM card for as little as 5 KWD all the way up to 10 KWD, standing for Kuwaiti dollar, of course. You're able to get regular SIM cards or data-only SIM cards if you want to get more data compared to the regular SIM card. What you probably noticed that the Zain one, or the prices of Zain, it says between 5 KWD all the way up to 10. That's because you have to select a starter plan when you go with Zain. So on the screen I will show you the starter plans that Zain offers, which comes with data and local minutes, while the most expensive plan comes with unlimited data. As you can see, there's a 100 gigabyte limit, which is quite a lot of data. If you can use 100 gigabyte on YouTube alone, well, I applaud you. But yeah, it's a fair use limit, but it's, you know, it's generous, I would say, at least in my opinion. But you may use YouTube much more than I do. Okay, so where can you buy yourself a SIM card in Kuwait? Well, you have to go to the official stores of these operators or authorized dealers, unlike some other places in the Middle East or around the world where you can buy SIM cards at supermarkets, kiosks, newsstands, stuff like that. You have to go to the official places. That's mainly because of the SIM card registration regulations, which we'll talk a little bit more about. But if you're flying into Kuwait International Airport, you can get SIM cards there as well without a premium, at least from what I know. So you're not really required to go into the city to get yourself a SIM card. Alright, so I mentioned SIM card registration. As most countries around the world, I think like 2/3 of the countries or nations, or well, recognized states, depending on how you want to refer to them, they require you to register your SIM card with your passport information or personal details. The same applies in Kuwait. So if you're getting your SIM card at one of the official stores or authorized dealers, make sure to bring your passport with you, or your GCC card or national ID if you're coming from one of the GCC countries, which will be Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. I have to quickly recount those. Then you can use your national ID as well. Alright, so which are the best SIM cards in Kuwait? Well, what I would recommend is going with Zain because they have the best coverage in the country and the fastest speeds. But you shouldn't ignore Ooredoo because they are slightly behind Zain, although Zain is still doing better, so those are your best options. STC used to be very unreliable in the past. They have improved a lot, so they are of course still an option because well, they are one of the three operators there, and they often have a lot of promos going on that have well, heavily discounted prices, so yeah, they can be a budget option. But the best option is Zain. Before we cover internet packages, I actually want to talk about coverage more because I already mentioned that Zain has the best coverage in the country. But does that mean that the other operators have awful coverage? No. Kuwait isn't really a very large country, especially compared to one of its neighbors, Saudi Arabia, although that's mostly desert, but still a very large country or kingdom, meaning that it's quite easy for the operators to cover the whole nation, which they do. And I've been showing you some coverage maps on the screen as well, so you can see that well, coverage is good, but it doesn't mean that you will have 4G LTE coverage all the time. Sometimes it's 3G only, and sometimes it's 2G, which is too slow for well, modern data browsing, so be aware of that. But coverage wise, you should be fine in Kuwait. Okay, so what about speeds in Kuwait? Well, you can actually expect fast speeds while you are in the country. Kuwait is actually in the top 20 countries with the fastest mobile download speeds, at least according to the Speed Test Global Index. At the time of recording, they are on position 17. Sometimes they are higher, sometimes they are lower, but they are doing quite well. You can expect an average download speed of 57 Mbps, whereas the world average is hovering around 35-36. So you will have higher than world average speeds when you are in Kuwait. And especially if you go with Zain, they have the fastest speeds. But yeah, we already knew that. So what about data prices? Well, Kuwait is not really known for being a cheap country, but mobile data is actually quite cheap. In fact, the average average price of 1 gigabyte of data is 77 USD in Kuwait. Yes, that places Kuwait actually in the top 3 or number 3 of the Middle East. And the Middle Eastern average itself is like $4 something something. So yeah, Kuwait is actually quite cheap. But those are just averages, so yeah, that's something to be aware of. Alright, so let's just talk about the packages offered by the operators. Well, each of the operators, they have different type of packages, bundles. Some of them are social media only, stuff like that. Well, I'm not gonna talk about all the packages in this video. I used to do it in the past. That was boring. So what I will do is I will just focus on one of the packages that they offer. But if you want to learn more about the operators and all the packages that they offer, I also have dedicated videos focusing on the Kuwaiti operators such as Zain, Ooredoo and STC, which you can watch in the playlist up there. I go a little bit more in depth about each individual operator. Right now I just show you one package or two if they have a data only SIM card, so you can get an idea of what they offer. Alright, so let's start with Zain. With the regular prepaid SIM cards you can get the easy internet bundles coming with data, unlimited local SMS and minutes. It could be either unlimited on net calls or unlimited local calls, all valid for 30 days. If you go with Ooredoo, you have the minutes and internet bundles coming with data, on net minutes, local minutes. If you have the data only SIM card, so the express internet SIM card, there's only one option, 3 KWD for 15 gigabytes of data. That's literally your only option, but well, it's quite okay for the price they charge you, but alright. With STC, you have the ALO plans, and there you actually have the international plans and the local plans. The international ones only comes with international minutes, whereas the local ones, they come with data and local calls. Generous data allowances on net minutes, and well, that's already mentioned. And if you have the data only SIM card, so the prepaid internet SIM card, then you can get 30 gigabytes of data for 7 KWD. Once again, that's your only option if you have the data only SIM card. Alright, so that's all you need to know about buying a SIM card in Kuwait, where the operators have very generous data allowances. There are not that many countries that I know that have data packages that come with 100, 200 or 300 gigabytes of data. It's quite insane, but I think that's quite cool. But you know, that's what I believe. As I said, if you want to learn more about the specific operators, such as more about STC or Zain or Ooredoo, make sure to check the playlist on the eye up there so you can learn more about the packages and some other stuff related to the particular operators. Or if you go to my guide ptw.link/Kuwait-guide, you can read the in-depth guide there as well, where I go much more in depth about the packages and all the related stuff related to the operators as well. Once again, I'm Adu from Phone Tourist, where we talk about everything related to traveling with your phone, such as local SIM cards, local SIM card reviews, international roaming, just everything related to traveling with your phone. And I would highly recommend you to sign up for my newsletter at ptw.link/newsletter, where I will send you an Excel sheet with the best local SIM cards in over 230 destinations, which gets updated once a month, all for free. So if you're a frequent traveler, then yeah, this information should be very valuable for you. So that's it for today. If you're going to other Middle Eastern countries, make sure to click the card on the screen, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as well, as said earlier. And I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye.